Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss a writing topic inspired by a comment on an earlier video. YouTuber Unpretentious Book Talk asked, question from a fantasy reader who has only dreamed of becoming a writer. Genuinely curious, not being critical, how do you figure out from the start that your idea is good for 12 books? I thought that this was a fantastic question and one that made me think about the very early origins of the Interworld Saga. So join me today while I talk about how I ended up planning a 12-book series. The Interworld Saga essentially began as Lord of the Rings fanfiction. Don't laugh, you were a dumb kid once too. I was a junior in high school when I first read Lord of the Rings, and I fell in love with it. It was my first foray into fantasy, and I've never looked back. I had written a few stories here and there in my elementary school days, but most of my writing consisted of well above grade level reports for class. The Lord of the Rings unlocked the writing bug in me. As soon as I read it, I knew I wanted to write fantasy. Tolkien's work was quite literally life-changing for me. So I started writing my own epic. Over the intervening years, more influences affected the course of my writing, and thus the Interworld Saga. The biggest of these were the Forgotten Realms novels, particularly The Legend of Drizzt. Hey, that dark elf and his friends got me through high school, okay? Another influence was George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire. Again, big books, long series. Stormlight Archive, Mistborn, Elric. Big books, big series. So I started out reading long series and big books. Thus, I write long series and big books. However, like most every series, the Interworld Saga began as a planned standalone book. In the very beginning, just writing one book was daunting. But then I got ideas, and these ideas couldn't fit into just one book. My world building was underway and the map was growing around the small kingdom of Lath. It seemed a shame to leave those outlying lands unexplored. I had an idea for the desert city of Shaleport involving gladiatorial fights in my MC, but I had to get him there. So one book became two, and two became three. After all, we had to return home, didn't we? And there was still all the plot going on back in Lath. Without giving too much away, there was a kingdom at stake. At some point, I decided I liked my MC enough to give him plot armor. Spoilers, but I always knew the series would end on a tragic note. But I didn't want to kill off Amon. At least, not yet. That's just the kind of book I write. Happy stories are not in my wheelhouse. Now, Amon was not always the main character of the Interworld Saga. In the beginning, in the earliest days, it was Galen, the quiet elf boy. I think part of the reason was that I was reading a lot of stuff with teenage protagonists, and I thought, as a teenage writer myself, that I needed a young hero. As I've grown, so have my reading tastes, and along with that, my writing has matured. By reading books with older protagonists, I came to realize that the farm boy turned hero is a pretty tired trope. The fantasy genre has moved beyond the days of Robert Jordan and Randall Thor. No shade against Rand, but the Chosen One trope is pretty played out. Another aspect of this is that I spent a long time world building. Yes, world building syndrome is a thing. You can get lost in the nitty gritty of cultures and creatures, politics and religions, all the little details of the world you created. At some point, you do have to stop world building and start writing. But heavy world builders like me tend to find more stories in their worlds than just the one that inspired them in the first place. There's just so much in a well-built world that you want to share with your readers. And it seems a shame, after creating a world that feels real, feels authentic, to only spend one book there. It feels to me like a waste, and I hate wasting my time. Why spend hours upon hours building the setting just to leave it behind so quickly? There are those writers who do only the bare minimum of world building, just enough to flavor the setting while concentrating on plot and character. I am not one of those writers. My imagination goes wild when I start a new story. That's how Locusana shifted from one, albeit long, book to three, with a planned fourth and at least two prequels. So, to answer the original question, I didn't go into either of my series knowing that I would plan so many books. They grew authentically over time, influenced by what I read and by the worlds I built to go along with them. I hope this helps. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and hit that bell notification to be notified when I post a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.